righty. So good morning, everybody. I'm here with Eric from BNTouch Mortgage CRM. We have a little a pop talk. So it's just kind of like a pop-up thing that we started talking and thought maybe we should share this with the world. So today we'd like to talk a little bit about CRMs. And we've got the expert here. Eric has been in the CRM world for over 10 years and has some tips and tricks and things he might want to share with us today. How you doing, Eric?
Yeah, doing all right. Excited to kind of talk about this stuff.
All right, good. Well, let's just jump right in because everybody I know is really busy. We get questions all the time. We're consultants at Cyberlink Software Solutions for a lot of different mortgage solutions. We work primarily with MeridianLink in their mortgage application. We work a lot with BNTouch CRM, so we have some knowledge of the product. Plus, I was a user for about 2.5 years of BNTouch, and that's how I really found out about it and really decided that I liked it. I've worked with a lot of CRMs in my mortgage career. When I started as a loan officer, I used ACT back in the 80s, which today, compared to then, it's light years apart.
Yeah.
So one of the questions I always get is like, people say, well, how do I know what's the best CRM? Do you have any tips or ideas of how do we figure out which CRM I should really be using?
Yeah, honestly, I really do think it's the one that matches your workflow as closely as possible. Because you're going to find all these one-size-fits-alls and maybe even more general CRMs that they're probably cheaper, but they're not going to match every in and out of your day. They're not going to have your pipeline exactly how you have it set. And sometimes you don't really know that, but it's nice to have something that's pretty much laid out for you by default, especially for the mortgage industry, just built from the ground up. But on top of that, having the resources and help to really dial it in for your situation, that's really where BNTouch comes in pretty clutch. And of course, the help along the way, I think, is really crucial.
So, like I said, I've worked on a lot of different CRMs, and when I started working with the CRM, my original thought was, well, this is dialed in for what I needed to do. But once I got into it, I found out that really it was more of a general tool than it was a specific tool. So what are the things like in BNTouch that would make me think that this really is for the mortgage industry, not just something that you put a mortgage label on it and here we are ready to go?
Well, it's a combination of the pipeline itself. Everything is situated based on leads coming in, getting them into the pipeline with the in-process stages, post-funded, long-term follow-up. That's just one piece. And then as soon as you get into we call it a borrower record, you're going to see 1003 info, a place to track communication, all the loan participants. And so even right off the bat, you have a really solid shell. But with that said, it's all about adding any custom fields that you personally need outside of the standard 1003 info. And then just kind of fine-tuning the marketing. We have a whole list of content ready to go, but at the end of the day, it's all about what you want to send out and when, and what is going to resonate the most with your specific clients.
So you mentioned something there that makes me think a little bit about, again, the CRMs I've used and BNTouch, but content. I've put a lot of campaigns together, but I've really had to work hard at figuring out what I wanted to do and what the message should be. And unfortunately, it made me feel more like I wasn't a loan officer anymore, and I was really getting into the content development business. What is it in BNTouch that makes that different from what I've done in the past?
So I guess it's a combination of having content that we've built from years just of putting stuff together, and we're always putting fresh content out there in combination of stuff that other users of BNTouch have created and shared. There's actually some really good campaigns that go, I don't know, a year, 2 years beyond, just constant contact, ready to go. You can literally just hit a button and it's ready to go. Personally, I've been really into the AI stuff lately, and you could say, hey, write me a 10-step campaign for a borrower that's eligible for a refi. And it's going to put together 10 pieces. Maybe they're too long. You literally just say, make it shorter. Within probably a few minutes, you're going to have your step 1, your day 5 email, your day 10, And you can incorporate text also. It's also something that we can fully automate. So say a lead comes in, boom, we hit them with a text and an email, maybe a couple of days later, hit them again. And if they respond, yeah, we can move them to the next campaign. So it really is just thinking about your different situations and what events might occur in the system. Like, hey, they are submitted to underwriting or their appraisal's ordered, that kind of thing. Yeah, we want to make sure that everybody's informed, and you want to make sure that you have the content basically ready to go in that case.
So you have a marketing background. I mean, I think if I remember right, you have a degree in marketing, right?
Yep.
So it might be easier for you to think about that maybe than the typical loan officer. But if I was going to use a AI generated campaign, how complicated would it be for me to get that into BNTouch and actually turn it into something productive? And the second part of that question is, if I wanted in that campaign to also include something like video so that it was better or more interactive than a text campaign, could I do that and blend those things together?
You absolutely can. And we actually have a whole video tool as part of the system. You can do it from your mobile app. You can get them into campaigns so that they hit, say somebody hits a certain milestone, they're going to receive that video along with your branding and whatever message you want to send. So there's really endless capabilities there. And you are able to record them on the fly, but we do have some pre-built ones you can use. I would say the biggest thing is actually utilizing our training and live sessions that would go through this stuff. Because I think one of the downfalls of people that are interested in CRMs and maybe they sign up for them, but they don't actually utilize it, is maybe they didn't fully get through the setup process, or maybe they, I don't know, sometimes people maybe turn the CRM on and think that it's just going to bring them money, which would be great. And in some cases it can, but yeah, you do have to go through a little bit of the setup. And I think we do a really good job of that because we supply you with a dedicated support person. We have live training sessions and pretty much every feature that we put out, including how to put a video in a campaign. It's all pre-recorded, ready to go. So
that sounds like from a marketing standpoint, BNTouch is really strong in the marketing area. It can really automate my marketing, let me go out and originate loans and let the system keep the people that I need to be connected with connected. Yeah. Does that include like maybe my realtors, my business partners, CPAs, accountants, that entire group, or are we really just talking about borrowers here?
Yeah, so of course borrowers are kind of in the forefront because they're the ones kind of going through the process, but being able to tag all your participants, a lot of time we can just naturally bring those over from your loan origination system like LendingPad or Arive, things like that. So what we can do is, first of all, note them and then tie them to the campaign. So let's say borrower's appraisal is ordered. Something goes to the borrower, something goes to the buying agent, referral partner, really any partner type that you specify. And whoever is tagged on the transaction, they're going to get the update. So it's completely hands off.
Could those partners be my processor, my junior loan officer, people like that are actually part of my team rather than people outside the company?
They can. Yeah, it's just a matter of who you tag, and you can even tag custom partner types too. So yeah, there's lots you can do there.
So a lot of flexibility. So one of the things that Cyberlink that we do in our consulting program is that we do something called optimization. Optimization is where we come into somebody who's got a system that maybe has been running for a year or two. Now they realize it can do a whole lot more than when they first got started. So we tweak, adjust, and make changes so that they're getting more out of the system than the day they got started. Is that something that a loan officer can get from BNTouch and that might help them maybe 6 months after they get a little more training and understand their system? Can somebody come in and help them now streamline?
Yeah, I would say that's actually an ideal way of approaching it, because you start with the system, you get the basics down, and you actually have the system sending stuff out. You're using it as a note-taking tool, tracking, all that stuff. And then once you kind of get familiar with that, you can expand to all of the different tools like refi alerts, listed property alerts, building we call it the refi analysis. So if somebody's eligible, you can put together a whole scenario breakdown for the borrower. And so different features like that you can always expand to.
Okay.
That's just kind of scratching the surface. But yeah, we do have, I guess, training and even live sessions. Just you can hop on those, ask your questions, and yeah, we welcome that for sure.
Okay. Since you're a CRM expert, one of the things that I find that has happened to me and some of my loan officers in the past is I get too wrapped up in the day-to-day running of the CRM, and I really want to focus my attention on sales. I really don't want to become a data entry person. And some of the CRMs that I've worked with, you really have to commit your life to being in the CRM, otherwise you don't get much out of it. Is that been what you found with most CRMs? Is that a typical problem? And if that is a typical problem, how does the loan officer overcome this?
Well, I'd say there's a couple, I guess, ways of looking at it, because some systems are just simply a marketing tool. So they have the content and they're sending stuff out without your input. It's just kind of a go with the flow thing. We can set it up in that way because we do provide monthly newsletters, weekly market updates, every holiday. So you don't have to get too in depth with the pipeline stuff. However, personally, I do feel you're going to get the most out of the CRM, and you're going to build better relationships if every phone call you're making, you're taking notes on what you're talking about. You are creating follow-up tasks saying, hey, we got to call Tom Jones a week from now. Today is a week from now. You're going to know exactly what to talk about and also what you talked about previously. And just kind of keeping everybody in the right section of the pipeline. It really is going to keep the communication itself more accurate, but you're going to be able to keep track of your deals a lot better. So just if you think about it as the more you put into it, the better opportunities you're going to be able to get out of the system. That is kind of the sweet spot.
Well, following up on that same line of questioning, do you have an idea, or could you share an idea of what a daily routine might look like? Is it like, do I get up in the morning and I have to turn on the CRM? Do I come back from lunch and have to turn on the CRM, go into the CRM? What is just in a brief description, what does a routine look like that I might want to follow per day?
Sure. Yeah, so it's a combination of maybe checking your email, because we'll send you a whole breakdown of all your tasks. We call it the daily digest. So any opportunities like birthdays, loan anniversaries, general tasks, as well as missed tasks, you're going to get a full breakdown of that. You can also make use of the listed property alerts, because we're always monitoring the MLS database. So that gets emailed to you as well. There's all kinds of stuff that you can basically not even look at the CRM. But if I were to log in, you'd want to go to the dashboard, because it's going to lay all that stuff out. You can click right through to those opportunities, and you're going to have all their contact information, every conversation you've had, along with any back and forth emails, text messages. It's all going to be put right in front of you. And so on your next conversation with that person, you can build off of what you already have. Kind of touches on the last thing we just talked about. As if you have all that stuff, the next conversation is going to be better. So
sounds like you should make the conversation more natural, more like you're talking to the person, and that's really the only person you ever talk to. They're your only client because you've got an intimate relationship with them.
Exactly. Yep. Even if they mention, hey, it's my kid's birthday in 2 days, and then your next conversation's in 2 weeks, you're going to have that note. You can ask them about that. And so it seems very standard, but a lot of people are not doing that, and they miss out on those little pieces of conversation. So that's the best way to do it.
Again, following that same line of thinking, what would you say the number one thing that most loan officers miss that they don't use their CRM for, or they don't do in their CRM, that would be like, this is the most important thing you should be doing? Is that the note taking? What do you think that is?
Yeah, I would say it's really just that simple data entry, because once they're in the process, we can typically link up with your LOS and just pull that data and send out, hey, they've reached this milestone. Hey, they've reached this milestone. Hey, they're funded. Okay, so that you don't have to worry about too much, but it's usually the lead side of things that it's absolutely crucial to note, hey, here's their situation. Here's when they want a follow-up call. and even just noting different fields that you want to take note of, like, okay, here's their income and stuff, just things that you, I guess, note from the call. That kind of thing is really going to help the whole momentum of that contact moving forward. And so even just, I would say it's both checking out the basic training, even just like the standard, hey, CRM basics. This is going to show you where things are so you know how to do that stuff and where to do that in the system, but also actually doing it, making use of those sections. And actually, you'd want to think of your CRM as your marketing assistant that's going to keep you on track with your opportunities and different items you need to tackle. And so, yeah, once you're interacting with it that way, you're going to get a lot more out of the system.
So my takeaway from all of that is just do it.
Pretty much, yeah. You're signing up for not just a system that's going to do stuff for you. You're signing up for something that's going to keep you more organized, help you stay in front of people more precisely, but also you're going to be able to pick up where you left off a lot better, just with kind of things you're naturally noting on your phone calls. I mean, yeah, the more you put into it, the more you're going to get out. Is really how it goes.
Okay, well, excellent. I guess as we wrap up here, if I was interested, how do I move forward? How do I find out more about BNTouch? Should I go to your website? Should I call you? Or what do we do next if we have questions or have some interest?
Yeah, I would say, I mean, even just going to BNTouch.com and you can request a demo. That'll go to our sales team. We can give you a walkthrough, answer any questions. And we have our phone number there too. So if you just want to call our sales team, yeah, we can just have a quick call. But yeah, I would say it's at least worth checking out. We got a whole just quick run through video. It's under 12 minutes. So if you have a little bit of time, goes through what I felt was the most important pieces within BNTouch. And so, yeah, feel free to reach out.
Okay, well, excellent. Well, I know, just speaking for myself as a loan officer, running a loan officer team, that I love the product. It did a great job for us. One of my loan officers kind of comes to memory that her name was Linda, great loan officer, terrible technologist, that was a good combination for her. She originated between 30 and 50 loans a month. And honestly, she was in BNTouch far less than anybody else in the entire organization. And she was able to figure out how to get what she needed while also doing the majority of the business for our small team of 5 loan officers in that particular group. So love the product. Appreciate the information. Appreciate your time today. And I look forward to hearing more about BNTouch. I think maybe you've got some other tidbits and secrets that we should share, and we'll come back to those at a later date.
Awesome, Greg. Yeah, appreciate you having me. And then, any questions, just let us know. Be happy to expand on anything. But yeah, I'd say it's all about you and your process. So whatever we can do to help shape that, that's really our goal.
All right. Well, appreciate it, Eric. Great talking with you today. And like I said, we'll jump back and talk about some more of the details at a later date. So thank you, everybody, for joining us today. Appreciate your time and the opportunity to share the BNTouch experience with you. If you have any questions, contact Eric at BNTouch, or if you want somebody who's a consultant and works on the system, contact Greg Uttal at Cyberlink Software Solutions on cyberlink.com. Thank you much and have a great day.